Thank you very much, gentlemen of the press. So where we are now, the side of the free zone is what we call the Lekki Free Trade Zone Development Authority, right? Earlier in the day, we are at the Lagos Free Zone. So we've entered the Lekki Free Zone in the last 2 hours. Lekki Free Zone Development Company, which we call the Southwest Quadrant. So this is a 3,000 hectare free trade zone. So inside the free trade zone, we've been taking round some of the developments that has been happening, and so they also have an oil and gas part of the free zone. So we're actually at the facility of Pinnacle Oil, which is the major anchor tenant inside the free zone right now. Pinnacle Oil and Gas, the interesting thing why I wanted you to also share is this facility will be about the biggest in the country in terms of storage facility. Right at the on the Atlantic Ocean, from here it's about 8 kilometers that they've built a pipeline where they can actually receive what we call mother vessels, big oil tankers, and it's all being stored, on the sea already, where automatically with remote control, they can berth, 8 kilometers into the shoreline, and the pipes have been laid, from here out there, and they can pump almost a whole vessel in less than 24 hours. Almost a whole vessel in less than 24 hours. So what else has done is, like we have in Apapa, where it could take 30 days before you finish pumping, a vessel of that size, because they'll be doing what we call transshipment. They'll be taking 5,000 liters, 15,000 liters. They'll be going and coming back. This can be done in 24 hours. You can see the capacity that I'm told here is about 230 million liters. 230 million liters, and the phase 2 of it is currently, the can-do spirit, where Nigerians too can indeed build something for themselves. The question you also asked as general manager, so where does the refinery come in, since the refinery is just the next door? This kind of facility complements a refinery, because the refinery will have mother vessels as well, who are either coming to take products out, or they're bringing, products in terms of crude. Right, so this kind of facility will also help, either to help store, what they'll be taking from the refinery, or even take out what also will be coming out from the refinery. So they are actually a complementary facility for the refinery. The CEO of Pinnacle said to me that if Dangote hasn't built a refinery here, they probably would have thought of building a refinery, at some point in time. So really, it's about coming to see the level of investment that both ourselves, the Lekki Free Trade Zone, our Chinese partners, and Nigerian companies are bringing to this site. Pinnacle is a wholly owned Nigerian company, right? They'll be employing over 10,000 people when operations start. You can see right in front of you, they have 22 discharge points, meaning that they can serve 22 oil tankers, oil trailers at once. And from what they've said, is the size of their pump can serve them with 30 minutes. So you can imagine, 22 oil trailer tankers in 30 minutes, meaning that they can actually serve up to 500 in a day. So one of the things that we need to do whilst we've all come here is, what are the other additional infrastructure that needs to come to an investment like this? And so these are journeys not just for us to listen, is to tie it into our developmental agenda, as a government, to bring development to this side of the country, to this side of the state, but also to tie it so that all our noise around Apapa gridlock, these are some of the solutions. You've seen a port, we will solve Apapa gridlock. You've seen an oil tanker, facility, which will solve Apapa gridlock. But what are we doing is to ensure that we also can build road infrastructure that will make sure that this place doesn't look like Apapa in another 5 or 10 years. And we've started. We've seen what we're doing from Eleko Junction into Ekwe, which is a 6-lane highway, right? Part of our conversation is to also be able to dualize the road from Eleko up until all of them here. So our plan is to work with all of them, solve Apapa gridlock. But what are we doing is to ensure that we also can build road infrastructure that will make sure that this place doesn't look like Apapa in another 5 or 10 years. And we've started. You know, we've seen what we're doing from Eleko Junction into Ekwe, which is a 6-lane highway, right? Part of our conversation is to also be able to dualize the road from Eleko up until all of them here. So our plan is to work with all of them. Dangote Refinery, the Lagos Free Port Zone, and the Lekki Port Zone, all of them, all of us are coming together and to see how we need to scale up the infrastructure in this whole neighborhood so that they'll be ready, it'll be fit and proper, and we'll be able to see the growth of Lagos in this part, you know, blossom in the next 1 year, 1.5 years. So, gentlemen, this is very interesting project for me. I've been briefed a few times before, but I need to come and see things for myself. Right out there, like I said, it's called a CBN. It's called a CBN. It's about 8 kilometers out there. You can take vessels of up to 16 meters. You can take vessels of up to 16 meters draft, right? And further down, they also want to do what we call an SPM, which will also be further down about, you know, about 23 meters draft, which will be about another 10 kilometers into the sea. So they don't need to come and disturb, you know, our shoreline. They just need to plug and play, you know, on the high seas there, and we'll get a lot more petroleum reserves, you know, capability, right? One of the things that we'll see is that issues around, you know, petrol scarcity and all of that. Facilities like this, you know, are very strategic to ensure that it doesn't happen, right? So, and I will carry you along when we come back here another 6 months to 9 months. You can see the land there is twice the land they have here, which will wrap up from 230 million that we have now to 700 and to 1 billion at the end of the day. So, I mean, this is an investment that we're seeing. And I hear that there are about 8, you know, oil anchor tenants like this that are going to come into this free zone, right? So, everything is happening. We'll continue our journey again. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
No questions yet.
No questions.
Is there no question? Happy with all you have.
To completely lighter those mother vessels. We are, with what we have built here, we're able to discharge those mother vessels within 24 hours because we're at a water depth of, the CBM is at a water depth of 17.5 meters. We're able to take LR1 vessels, which are vessel sizes of 60,000 metric tons. The SPM, which will become operational in July, is sitting at a water depth of 23 meters and is able to take vessel sizes of up to 150,000 deadweight ton. The storage, as Mr. Governor has said, is going to be quickly ramped up to be able to optimize the value of those offshore intake facilities. So we expect that by the end of 2022, we should have up to 1 billion liter storage capacity to be able to efficiently handle petroleum products in the country. Thank you very much.
Your name again, sir?
Your name again, sir? Peter Mbah.
Oh, your name again.
If you have this.
Let's take picture. This is an opportunity of my lifetime.
Sorry, which team do you represent? Is that? Which team do you represent?
No, we are Pinnacle staff.
That's you're the media person for Pinnacle.
No, I'm a staff.
No, the other side. It's alright. It's alright.
Where's the mic?
Rotimi. You have it.
My name is Peter Mbah. I'm the managing director, chief executive officer of Pinnacle Oil and Gas Ltd. We cannot thank the governor enough for this visit. And as Mr. Governor said, he has been briefed about this project, but we're indeed delighted that he was able to make out time on his working visit to pay us a visit here today. Just to re-echo what has been said, what you're witnessing here today, it's a development that has taken 7 years to get to where we are. It is something we believe is going to optimize the operations we currently do in the supply and distribution chain of the oil and gas sector. We also believe that it's going to also become a game changer in a way that we have not witnessed before. The reason is that we're going to be able to save a whole lot of cost by making sure that the ship-to-ship transfer, which is currently the norm in the industry, whereby we import through mother vessels, through large vessels, LR2, LR1, and then we'll keep lightering them. Sometimes it takes 15 to 30 days to completely lighter those mother vessels. With what we have built here, we're able to discharge those mother vessels within 24 hours because we're at a water depth of, the CBM is at a water depth of 17.5 meters. We're able to take LR1 vessels, which are vessel sizes of 60,000 metric tons. The SPM, which will become operational in July, is sitting at a water depth of 23 meters and is able to take vessel sizes of up to 150,000 deadweight ton. The storage, as Mr. Governor has said, is going to be quickly